What's up guys, so in today's quick support video we're going to be going over some of the best settings for Safari on your iPhone. These settings are going to make your Safari function a little bit better, be a lot more secure, and just overall work better for you on the iPhone. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and definitely comment down below if you have some settings to improve Safari on the iPhone for the community. So without further ado, let's get started. Now all of these settings are going to be located within the General Settings app, scrolling to the bottom and locating Safari, and then you can adjust all the settings from there. So one of the first things I want to change always is your preferred search engine. So if you go into the search engine option here, you can select basically either Google Chrome, DuckDuckGo, or Yahoo, any of the search engines that you would prefer to use, anyone that seems a little bit more secure for you. Some people just don't like using Google for the most part. Some believe that the DuckDuckGo is a little bit more secure than Google is, so you can actually make that adjustment here. And then any searches you perform in Safari, their general search option will be redirected to that particular search engine. So if you're not finding all the results that you're looking for from a particular search, sometimes you can go in here and adjust the search engine that's being used, especially if you're not using probably one of the bigger ones like Google or Yahoo. And another thing I like to turn on is the pop-up blocker. Pop-ups are extremely annoying, especially when you're trying to access information on a website. This can actually prevent a lot of those pop-ups from popping up on your phone and redirecting you when you're trying to access the information you need as quickly as possible. This one is a no-brainer. I would tick this one on if it's not on currently. The other thing that you may want to finagle with is the autofill. And the reasoning behind the autofill itself is that it accesses a lot of information in your phone probably without you knowing. So the autofill accesses your contacts, it accesses your address, it accesses credit card information, password information. So there's a lot of information that's funneled through this autofill setting that, if it's ticked on, can be sometimes compromising. So you want to make a decision on whether your convenience of having everything kind of autofilled versus the security of having it not being able to access certain information within your phone. It's kind of a trade-off, so you can make the decision here. I tend to keep it on. Some people prefer to turn it off, but it's good to know that it does access that information so you can make an informed decision. And the next one is going to be the cross-site tracking. So Apple does take a lot of your information, even though they say they don't, they definitely do. And they use that information to have specific targeted ads to you as you go from site to site based on what you look at. So if you looked at something on Amazon and you stayed there for a little bit, then if you go to another site, that targeted product that you kind of stopped and looked at would be transferred over to that other site as a targeted ad to you. If you want to prevent that information from being collected, if you want to prevent those targeted ads from appearing on websites as you use your Safari on your iPhone, then you definitely want to turn off to prevent the cross-site tracking. That way that information is not collected, they're not looking at what you're looking at, and you're not getting specific targeted ads as you move from site to site. Another one for me that's really a no-brainer is the turn on the fraudulent website warning. This is basically using the Google Safe browsing technology to test and look at certain sites you visit. If the site kind of pings that Google Safe browsing as not being a safe site, or a site that possibly has malware, or a site that's been reported to be a hack site, or a site that's collecting passwords, then that information will appear and you'll get a message saying that the site is unsafe, and basically just giving you the option to proceed at your own risk. And this is, again, for me, a no-brainer. It's not something that's going to slow down your browsing. It's not something that's going to interfere in you using your Safari to the best of its ability. It's just something that's an added protection for you for going to certain sites. That way you know if it's an unsafe site, you can again make an informed decision if you want to continue using the site or not. Now, some other really interesting things to check is if you go into certain website settings, like if you select the camera option here, it's going to give you the ability to set different permissions for your camera. So I always set mine to ask, because if you set it to allow, then as soon as you enter a website and they request access to your camera, it's going to automatically allow it instead of prompting you to give that site permission. So you want to make sure your camera is set to ask. You want to go into your microphone and make sure that's set to ask as well, and your location is set to ask, just so that way any site that's requesting access to these specific features on your iPhone, they got to go through you to get authorization first, and it's not just allowed automatically. Somebody can hack into your camera, microphone, or figure out where you are via your location. Now, just a really quick troubleshooting tip is that if you're ever having any issues with any websites loading up on Safari, sometimes the actual site data may be corrupted or your cookies for that particular site may not just be working the way it is. And if you want to get a fresh load of that site, if you go into the advanced options and you select the website removal data, you can actually remove specific data from any website that you visited that's stored information via Safari on your iPhone. If you click that edit button on the top, you can actually just remove the website data itself, close out Safari, reopen it, and you're basically getting a fresh reload of the website in general. And also, if some websites just aren't loading or working properly, you can turn on that JavaScript option. I found that sometimes when you turn on that JavaScript option, it helps those websites load. It helps that information properly propagate on your phone the way it's supposed to. And it's just an added layer and a kind of insider tip just to get everything flowing and working the way that it's supposed to. So guys, hopefully these settings are going to help your Safari just function a lot better, definitely be a lot more secure and a lot more usable on your iPhone. If you have any tips that I didn't share here, go ahead and share them in the comment section down below the video. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more support videos. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. And as always, make sure to stay safe. And until I see you guys next time, peace out.